Welcome back to Kempf Fitness Professional. My name is John, and this is another hybrid workout tutorial video. This is Circuit B from this training session, the second of two hybrid workouts, and we are doing barbell lateral squats with a close grip lat pull supersetted with a close grip straight arm pull down, and then finishing the core exercise being a Swiss ball stir the pot. So I'm going 5 reps on each exercise here. So 5 lateral squats, 5 lat pulls supersetted with 5 straight arm pull downs, and then 5 stir the pots each direction. So I'll just jump in right at the pull down. I'm using 2 separate handles here instead of a lot of people will use the V-bar attachment. I like the 2 handles because first of all, it gives you more variability in the wrist, and you're able to actually pull the handles apart slightly at the bottom, as you'll see here. And then for this routine specifically, because I'm also doing a straight arm pull down and I need to change the position of the handle, these single handles work a lot better. But you'll see here that I am keeping the grip position close together. My hands are close together, but as I get down to the bottom, I spread the handles apart and bring my thumbs outside my pecs. That's just going to help you to get a little bit more range of motion out of the exercise and a little bit more work. And then I'm supersetting here with a straight arm pull down. So I go pretty heavy with the lat pull, and that pre-fatigues a lot of the upper back. And then to hit the post delts and more of the lats, I superset with this straight arm pull down, which I have to lighten the weight significantly, but that combination, just doing 5 reps of both of those with good controlled form really gets you, especially in this circuit when we're going 3 rounds through of 3 exercises, no rest. Physio ball stir the pot, the main thing I want you to think about is do not let the rest of your body move as you move your arms. You're trying to avoid rotation. So a wide base of support here, keeping your feet apart, really helps to maintain the position in your hips, because the pelvis is especially going to be the area that wants to move and rotate the most. You want to really avoid moving from the trunk, from the hips. So that's first round through, 5 reps of everything. I'm going to come back to the bar. This is just a 5-foot bar and bumper plates, which makes it a little easier to kind of hide in a corner in the gym if there's not a lot of space. So it's tough in my situation to do a lot of filming if there's a lot of people in the gym walking around or using the equipment, and it's, you don't want to be rude setting up the camera right in front of somebody else. So I try to stick to the corner, to the big group room when it's not being used. Main thing you want to think about here on the lateral squat, push your hips back as you fold forward slightly. So I paired this with the other circuit being the good morning, barbell good morning for this day. So this is a kind of hybrid between a hip hinge and a knee bend movement. So you initiate the lateral squat with more of a hip hinge movement, and then as you come down into that end range, the bottom, it becomes more of a knee dominant squat pattern. And you really want to try to leg press yourself away with that one leg to get the quad involved. But that is one of my favorite squat variations, is the back squat, the barbell lateral squat with the bar on the back, just because it mimics your regular squat but gives you a little more freedom in the hips and overloads that one leg at a time. And then this, again, is one of my favorite back combinations because it really gets a large amount of the muscles of the back. That close grip pull does a lot for the traps and the rhomboids, more of the upper and middle back behind the shoulder blades. And then this straight arm pull down really gets the post delts and the lats, especially when you get that contraction there all the way into the bottom at the end. And that's why I like those 2 independent individual straps, or handles, excuse me. So that way you notice that I pull those handles apart in the bottom of that one as well. It gives you a little bit more freedom, range of motion there. Stir the pot, a key note on this one is that you can change the difficulty by changing the size of the circle. The main factor is to avoid rotation or movement in the trunk and the hips, but you can challenge yourself more progressively by drawing a bigger circle with your forearms. If it's too tough, make the circle smaller, but the main key is obviously precision and good technique. So make sure your form is on point before you start to increase the size of the circle. Especially in this circuit, stir the pots are a pretty physically demanding exercise, even though it's not, ridiculously metabolic in the rest of this circuit that's already really taxing you metabolically. It really challenges you to maintain good core strength and stability and avoid any kind of sloppy movement. You'll notice here that I start with that hinge, the shoulders go forward and the hips go back, but I get a good knee bend from the bottom coming out of it. You'll also notice that the other leg stays totally straight. Do not let the straight leg have a bend in the knee. That's going to cause an internal rotation force on that straight leg, on the knee of that straight leg. It's going to put a lot of pressure on your MCL, ACL. You do not want to do that. So make sure that on your straight leg, you dig your toes down and push that knee back to maintain alignment through that straight leg and put all the stress on the working leg and maintain a safe aligned joint on that knee of the straight leg, so that way you don't compromise that MCL, ACL. Okay, and then another little key point on this close grip is you'll notice that I'm really extending my upper spine. I'm lifting my chest and kind of arching back a little bit more. That's just allowing me to get a little bit more of an emphasis again on the upper back and the traps, mid-trap, more so than the lats, because the superset of the straight arm pull down is going to emphasize more of the lats. So I'm just focusing on getting the traps in that close grip and then coming into this straight arm pull down to get more of the lats and the posterior delt. This is a fiery combination. I really like it. You guys got to try this one out. Just make sure that you're using a weight that you can control and pausing for that brief moment at the bottom of each of the different movements. Okay, and then I'm finishing here. Last set of the physio ball, stir the pot. The forearms are on the ball, and it's named appropriately because if you imagine the two hands being together, if I had a big giant wooden spoon in my hand, I'd be stirring a big cauldron. Imagine like a witch's brew. That's where I got the name, stirring the pot. It looks like that motion, like I'm stirring a giant pot. So just, again, maintain the tight alignment through the trunk and through the pelvis. And the wider your base of support, the wider your feet, the easier that'll be. So that's 3 sets through 6 reps of everything.